Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Hopefully we can get through this one. I've started many and I haven't finished them, but this is Borrego. And it is about a botanist who goes, I think, into Mexico or something like that. A small desert town, as far as we know. And she gets kidnapped by a drug lord, essentially, is what, I think is happening. Lucey Hale is in it. It's funny, it's like, I'm not like a Lucey Hale fan, but it seems like I'm watching a lot of her movies. I just watched the Hate Game or whatever, so I don't know. She's in it. Nobody else I recognize. And here's the bad news: 4.9 on IMDb. Only 289 people have rated it so far. So, who knows? Maybe it'll be good. Hour and 42 minutes long. And it's funny. I paused it right here. I start the movie ahead of time and just start getting it rolling before I talk to you. The rise of prescription drugs in America has led to a crisis of addiction, overdose, and unnecessary death. True fact. This starts with legal drugs like fentanyl. Is fentanyl legal? I didn't know that. And ADHD stimulants prescribed to adults and minors, as extends to trafficking drugs in the same nature. Okay, ADHD, I get those kinds of things. That's like Adderall and whatever. This is impacting the lives on both sides of the border like never before. Sorry, I'm sharing this with you, but I mean, it's the opening scene, so I'm kind of really interested in this. I didn't know fentanyl was legal. I thought that was the stuff that they cut heroin with. I have no idea. I don't normally do drugs. But, so fentanyl is a word I've heard a lot. Anyway, let me get into it, find out what it's about, give you a better idea, let you know what I think. I just want to share that part with you. Alright, I'll be back. Hey everybody, I want to do a quick check-in here. We're watching Borrego on a second night here. Wasn't able to finish it the first night, but we're at the 45-minute, 30-second mark. Our botanist is, I don't know, she goes out and she knows a lot about plants, and a gliding plane kind of crashes right by her. She's trying to get back to somewhere, she even has a truck or something like that. And this guy in a glider plane crashes, and she, of course, is a nice person to go see how he's doing, and evidently he's flying drugs into the country or something like that. There's a whole bunch of drugs laid out all over the place, so he scoops them all up and then forces her to help him, drive away, and and all the complications that go into that. So that's kind of how she's sort of kidnapped. But that's really all that's happened so far. A little slow moving, but let's get back to it here, see where it goes. I'll give you my final thoughts. But okay, that's what I got for you so far. Stick around, I'll be back. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Borrego. Not sure all what I've included so far, so I'm going to try and sum it up again. So we know our botanist is captured by a guy flying drugs into the country, right? Well, in addition to that, she becomes friends with the sheriff's daughter. So the sheriff's daughter is out there. Somehow they become friendly, and so the sheriff is involved at some point. And also, probably what I'm assuming is the guy who was going to receive the drugs from the guy flying the plane in, he gets involved. So he's out looking for his drugs and the plane. He finds the plane, now he's looking for his pilot and anything like that. So, and more importantly, his drugs. And then there's two other guys that are in it, but it's not that important. So really, that's what it is. So we've got our pilot, and he's kind of kidnapped the botanist, and they're trying to walk like 50 miles with these drugs because they don't have anything else to do. They have no other way, and everybody's looking for them. That's what the movie's all about. Okay, so they do a little bit of character development between the pilot, who's essentially a drug dealer, and our botanist, Lucey Hale. So shows a little bit of that. It's interesting because it adds depth to the film, but doesn't really change the plot at all. It's not significant to the plot. I mean, you can stretch it into that a little bit, but otherwise it's really not. So, you know, that they wrote the plot of the story, then they come up with, okay, here we're going to develop these characters a little bit, not really have these characters' lives influence the plot in any way. I don't know if that makes sense, but, you know, so that's not a bad film, not terrible, but you could tell. I'm going to give it a 5, okay? There are some action scenes, obviously. There's, you know, some gun battles and stuff like that, and it's somewhat got an interesting plot, but it seemed like the idea was written out, you know, for the plot line, which is fine, and then they added in other pieces to try and make it a little bit more interesting. I know, of course, that's what they did, right? That's what everybody does. But sometimes they start out in a different way, whereas the plot is centered around these characters, and, you know, it really has a lot more to do with them than it does just happen to be in this situation. I don't know, I'm probably not making any sense, so I apologize. But still, entertaining enough to check out. Like I said, I'd put it around a 5. You know, I thought Lucey Hale, she was pretty good. And our other pilot guy, I mean, really, and then the sheriff's daughter. You know, I think she has a little bit more scenes in it to comment on her acting. But there wasn't anything major there. It's really very low budget as far as actor, and I shouldn't say low budget as actors. There's not a lot of actors in it. You know, it all takes place in the Dakota deserts, whether it's South or North Dakota, I think. Borrego Springs. I don't know. That's actually where it was filmed. So I don't know. I should probably look that up, but I think it's somewhere like that. But there you go. Just seeing if they say it there. I don't know. I don't know if I was helpful at all. But at least you know a little bit more about the plot, and you know what I think about it. So, alright, took me 2 days to get it through, and there it is. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.